So, first of all, let's have a look. Let me pull my notes up. What do we want to jump into first? Do we want to jump into the super exciting news with ASA?
Why the hell not? We'll save the good stuff for first. Because it's backwards.
Yeah, why not? Okay, so a lot of you have been asking about mods, and more mods, and when can we have mods? And we've been holding off a little bit, primarily to protect everybody from themselves and prevent loss of items and dinos and other assorted valuables. Because new platform, new modding system, new way of distributing mods has its teething issues. But we kind of thought, with the new release of the dev kit, where mods are now being put out for cross-platform support, and the fact that we've been keeping our eye on a couple of mods and they seem very stable and well developed, we thought it would be a great time to start adding them to the cluster. And the first one we're going to go with is Cryopods by Pelliori. We've had that on the development server for a while. We've all been testing it, playing with it, tweaking the settings, and it seems to do the trick. It's got a couple of interesting features. So it has a cryo gun, which enables you to pick up your dinos at range, like the Soul gun used to. Obviously, it has cryopods. It also has a cryo terminal, which allows you to capture babies and automatically store them in cryopods for release later. When you've released them, they're given to the person, or the owner of that dino is the person that releases it. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Nani.
No, I turned that off.
Okay.
Personally, we've not been running with that so far.
So it remains unowned until you do what?
The dinosaur remains the same state it was, like how it works on ASE. So you don't get to pass the imprint across just by unsouling a dino.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I mean the babies. So you hatch a baby, it's unclaimed.
Yes.
The cryo terminal picks it up.
The baby, from what I've seen so far, you throw it out, the person who throws out gets the claim.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you have to throw your own dinosaurs out if you intend to imprint them.
Yes. And then there's the neuter gun and kill gun. The neuter gun and kill gun are rolled into one. Yeah. I'm correct?
Yes.
Neuter gun obviously allows you to mass neuter things. The kill gun allows you to tag dinos for death, and then you fire it, and any dino that is tagged will then die. There is a little bug with that at the moment. It is a little intermittent.
Yeah.
But that's the intention behind it.
The two things you'll notice is the soul gun to start with. You'll think that it's not working at range. It has a cooldown on it. So wait for your cooldown. It has actually got a decent range on it. And the neuter gun, as DJ just said, it seems intermittent. I haven't got it to work yet. GD has been playing with it and says it does work, but is intermittent. So until that gets sorted out, just bear that in mind. But other than that, it seems to be working nicely.
So because cryopods are super useful in keeping dino populations under control on the map, they will be available at level 9 for 5 engram points and cost 15 fiber, 15 flint, and 5 metal to craft each. Fairly low level, easy to obtain, and standard materials you can get from the beach. So there's no reason not to be using them. Cryopods do carry a charge though, and the charge when you first get them lasts for 30 days, and you can recharge them in a cryo fridge or a cryo terminal. Now at the moment the charge is real time, so you put it in the terminal or the fridge for a day, it recharges a day's worth of power. we are going to change that, and the functionality is coming in the next release of cryopods. And the next release of cryopods is within the next 24 hours, from what I understand, along with a whole number of other bug fixes. The cryo fridge will be available at level 49, 60 engram points, 25 metal ingots, 25 crystal, and 25 obsidian. You then move up to... Hang on, we changed the neuter gun, didn't we? We brought it down. Bear with. Give me 2 seconds. Engram control. The neuter gun is available at level 1 and it's free. So the neuter and kill gun is available to everybody immediately. Forgot to mention that. We did have it in at a higher level, but we'd made those decisions based on functionality that didn't exist at the time. The mod's evolving very quickly. Then you've got the cryopod gun, which is the long-range trap your dinos. Now, here's where it gets a little complicated, so let's pay attention. Cryopods take, 1 second to pod your dino?
Yes.
If I'm correct.
Yeah, that's right.
If you are in combat, then they take 10 seconds to pod your dino. Okay? You can't deploy dinos in caves, and you can't deploy dinos in boss arenas. So you need to plan dinos you're going to take into a cave. You need to plan your dinos you're going to take into a boss arena. You can cryo your dinos in a boss arena, and you can cryo in caves, but the cryo time is quite long. So it's not going to be an instant save your dino, I win button type thing. Now the gun itself, 20 foundation range to pick up your dinos, and it will pick them up instantly. So with that in mind, we put the gun at a higher level, and the gun is 74, 24 engrams, and costs 50 metal ingots, 50 crystal, and 50 obsidian to craft. Now that's at a higher level because it allows you to save your dino instantly. But then the gun goes on to cooldown, and you have to wait until the cooldown has passed until you can use it to instantly pod another dino. Now, when it comes to management of dinos in your base, hopefully this won't be an issue because you can just use normal cryopods, run around, zap, 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 and fill them all up. Also, cryopods, if I remember rightly... Oh, crap, I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, ignore me. I'll get back to that in a second. Then you've got the cryo terminal. Now this is the thing that's heading towards being really useful for breeding programs and all that kind of stuff. The default cost of the cryo terminal was something like 200 odd electronics, 500 polymer, 5,000 metal ingots, and a couple of hundred element. Now, we realized you can't actually carry 5,000 metal ingots in your inventory. So we tweaked it a little bit. And we changed it to be 250 electronics, 80 element, and 500 polymer. Crafted polymer, not organic polymer. Because unfortunately you can't stick together complicated pieces of machinery with snot from snails. As much as we'd love to. So what that means is you're going to have killed a boss at least to get some elements to craft it. And it is a 600 slot storage terminal for your cryopods that will also automatically pick up any babies that are hatched and store them in the terminal for when you're ready to collect them. And I think that just about covers it.
Yeah. If you're smart cookies, you will position your egg breeding layers next to air conditioners, and turn off your Oviraptor collection for fertilized eggs. I think you can do that.
Yeah.
And then that will stop your Oviraptors eating your eggs, as you'll be able to catch the babies straight away in the terminal, which should be a good thing.
So, any questions? Range. 20. Oh, the range on the cryo terminals, 15 foundations. Same as what the nanny was on ASE. Same as what all the kind of breeding boxes we have are.
Yeah.
We've also made it so that don't know.
Keeping in
Hadn't
mind
thought
it's
about it.
250 at the moment, I would say it's likely, but not heavily.
I mean, it would make sense that we did drop the limit, because what's going to happen is people will just plonk out 200 dinos and catch them all in the terminal. The other thing that we've done as well is the cryo terminal at the moment, because it's got 600 slots, you can only have one per base, and you cannot place another cryo terminal within 30 foundations of another one. That is so players cannot overlap their cryo terminal into your base and start hoovering up your babies using their cryo terminal.
Yes, 250, I believe, is the limit at the moment. They changed that a few patches
Yes.
ago.
Yeah, it's exactly our train of thoughts, Dr. Smiley.
Yeah, if I had to pluck a number out of my ass right now, it would be around the 100, 150 mark.
So yeah, we'll be dropping that mod in tomorrow morning with the settings that we've just talked about. And I can actually show you what those settings are now, so it'll be easier. Engram control.
Welcome back to, yes, cryopods tomorrow.
Now, don't ask me why a bed is showing up in this screenshot. I searched the word mod, but there you go. So that's the engrams. And then the crafting costs are, let me see if I can shrink that down. So that's a bit easier. Hopefully I haven't got anything wrong. There you go. There's your crafting costs, there's your engram and level costs. And then finally, I believe we've just got the settings themselves, which I think, okay, no, your settings menu doesn't show everything, so I'm going to have to go for the main. Where are they?
Normal is enough. You don't need tech for that.
Yeah, the idea behind the cryo terminal was that the mod author had in mind was you couldn't craft it until you got the tech replicator. But then he forgot to add the engram to the tech replicator. and added it to the player inventory instead, and then realized you couldn't actually craft it at all. So yeah, oops. So he's adding the engram to the tech replicator, hopefully in the next patch as well. So you'll then have a choice, personal inventory or tech replicator. But either way, we've made sure that the materials will fit on a character without any jiggery pokery required. Ah, here we go. Found it. Oh, and best of all, no cryo sickness. Yeah, we got rid of that. Right, let me paste this in. Oh man, so much stuff to scroll through. Here we go. There we go. So that also means, obviously, now that we're starting to entertain mods and stuff like that, we have been looking at the mod list. We do know what's available, and yes, we'll be watching carefully. I think I'll address the ARC editions first of all. Actually, no, I won't. What I will address is the Xbox, PlayStation cross-platform launch. We want the cluster to help keep it going and keep the future of it ensured to be compatible with all platforms. So that means any mods that we install have to be available on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam and Epic and all that lot. I think it's just kind of like PC and console, so they have to be console certified. CryoPods, he's already said yes, he is. The new version of the dev kit came down today, and he'll be making the CryoPods mod certified for console. He's already had that in mind with the UI and the control panels and stuff like that. So that's something we have to consider. I do know Arc Editions is already certified for console. That was pre-certified pre-launch. And there's a couple of others as well. But so far there's only a handful. So what I propose we do now is we start testing the console certified mods that we wish to include. And we kind of like post those out to the public or to all of you to let you know what we're looking at. But if you find any, by all means, drop them in feedback. Let's see what people are interested in. The other thing that the cryo will be doing is, I forgot to mention, once he fixes the bug, we'll be ensuring a minimum imprint on your dinos, and I think we settled on 15%.
We did.
So what that means is any dino you throw out will be given a 15% imprint minimum. If it's above that, it won't have any effect. If it's below that, it'll raise it. No, we need kind of like, if you're talking mods that are certified on all platforms, just the link to the mod on CurseForge in feedback. If you can't post in feedback, then you need to chat to us a little bit more, I'm afraid. I'll get somebody to post it in on your behalf. Yeah, so a minimum imprint of 15. Now, this will allow you to miss one of the imprints on average for 80% of the dinos and still have a chance of getting to 100% imprint. DM someone the link. So ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore that. So that's the current state of our settings for cryopods, just so that you're all clear on that. Yeah, the Arc Editions dinos already have console certification. That's what I'm saying. There's a handful of mods that do, and it is literally a handful. Unfortunately, one of them is the upgrade station. Oh dear, I regret saying that. But yes, no cave deployment of cryos. No crawling past the small opening, getting inside, and then deploying an army of 50 Rexes. Snow cave still screwed, lol.
I would say don't be a cheese ball.
Given the amount of the quality of the loot that's dropping and stuff like that, it shouldn't be too much of a challenge. For a determined group of players, I think all of it is possible. But we'll see as things come along. With that in mind, 1, 2, 3, 4 bosses have already been killed. I'm not saying what or who yet, because we are going to publish that news later. Unless you want to announce it tonight, Arnie?
No, we're good.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah, they kind of did. Yes, they count as 3. Anything you want to add about mods and cryopods? I know you've been using them way more than I have, so you've already shared with us the pro tip about the Ovi. Anything else up your sleeve?
No. Not really.
No, it wasn't a secret, Bob. It's just we hadn't asked if we could post the videos yet. With stuff like nannies and propagators and wonderful things like that, I did have a play around with a couple of the nanny things on there, and they lagged the server to Jesus. It was ridiculous. I don't know what it was doing. Won't pretend to even want to have a look, but it caused all sorts of glorious lag fests. That quality of life plus, I'm guessing, is they've just clicked the migrate S plus to ASA, ripped out all the stuff that didn't work or they couldn't figure out how it worked, and then republished it.
Two things kind of piggyback on that as well. I mean, number one, we were discussing earlier about mods having to go through recertification to get console approved. So we've got to be careful that some of these mods don't suddenly get yoinked in the middle of the crossover.
The Way that's going to work, I believe, is on the next version of the mod release. They check a box to say submit for approval for console,
Yeah.
and they don't go live until they pass console approval. So it's the other way around. For pure PC mods, they can get yoinked afterwards. They just go straight through. So for the console ones, the approval process happens first. So if they get stuck in approval, then the update just doesn't happen. You carry on playing until finally the update's approved, then it goes live. Yeah, with the cryos, you can obviously, if you can't be about to do your imprint, you cryo it up, drop it out when you can. Yeah, we're just doing cryopods to begin with. Then all other mods that will be considered will be ones that work cross-platform, so ones that have got their console certifications. Um, yeah, we're very conscious that we had a lot of mods on the ASE cluster.
Then yes, we do plan to open up cross-platform.
Yeah, exactly, Shaggy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Crows will come tomorrow with maintenance. Server transfers will come as soon as they enable the clustering option. At the moment, it is still broken as far as I know, and doesn't
It's not
exist.
even written.
Yeah, it doesn't actually exist yet in the game, so they're working on that. But the plan is when we do get the cross cluster, we will be doing that and allowing supporters to travel between the two. That's no problem.
What I'm most interested in when it comes to mods is how supportive the author is, how frequently the updates are flowing in these early stages, and how quickly they kind of address bugs, not necessarily player demands, but address issues with their mods. Um,
So yes, there will be an SE map, there will be a public, and there will be a supporter SE map. Hopefully going forward into a giant glorious cluster of SE maps. ASA maps even.
yeah, no, I agree, Theo. Adding content to the game that is usable or quality of life ahead of cosmetic stuff. The cosmetic stuff, I think, just got addressed. They relaunched the entire game. You'd hope, but we don't know, Maraxis. They haven't built the functionality for cross map transfer yet into ASA.
I'm guessing as we get closer to Scorched Earth, they will have to start addressing things like that, and it'll become more of a pressing issue for them.
I mean, the cryopod mod, I believe. Oh, it's already flagged as console already, so he's got approval.
It's done then. Good.
Yeah. although I'm not entirely sure how, because his last update was the 16th of November. He is pushing an update tonight, from what I understand. But yeah, I know that all of the Arc Editions dinos are console ready. And facts, quickly check. Oh yeah, Waffleheim or whatever it is. That's certified console ready already. You know the new map by Nectus.
Mm-hmm. It's not new, dude, though, is it? Hasn't he done Svartalheim before?
He has for ASE. He's also done something called S Dinos. I'm not sure what that is, which is also certified. Then the Dino Suchus is the Dinotherium is Ceratosaurus is the Helicoprion is Archelon, the turtle thing, Zippocanthus. Is that how you say it?
Zifts, yes.
Yeah, Ziffs are, Brackies are, and um, and they look amazing. And that's it.
No
So
panda. They're disabled from saddles.
yeah, we're not going to let people
No,
run
no
around
more
with.
wandering baby nicking machine pteranodon Quetzal things. No. It's asking for trouble, that is.
Yeah, that definitely is. So yeah, basically it's the Arc editions, one map, cryopods, and upgrade station, which have been pre-certified for console so far. So I think that the biggest test will be is, will mod authors update their mods, get them certified, which in theory shouldn't be too much of a problem, and get them launched. Yes, and no, you have a grinder. Yeah, the one that allowed 300% primitive BPs. That one. We're not going to be including that.
I think we learnt our lesson there.
We did indeed.
This is the
Because they
problem,
can.
though, is you give somebody the ability to do something and they will do it. No, I don't think we do need all the Arc Editions dinos, to be fair. Definitely don't need the turtle. No turtles.
So the new cryopods mod is cooking at the moment. And what that means is it's being cooked by CurseForge, not locally on the developer's machine. So it could take hours, it could take minutes. Who knows?
Why no turtles? Because Bob really wants turtles. That's about it, really.
So what I'm thinking then, Nani, is maybe we put the additions onto the development server and we launch the cryopods tomorrow morning. Then we play with the additions for a little bit, make sure they're not crashing the server like they were a few weeks ago, and think about what we put in.
Yeah, I would like a discussion on what we put in for editions first.
Exactly.
And honestly, I
And the
think
settings.
in a longer term stance, there are some dinos and additions that could replace some other stuff that is wildly OP. I would much rather see Brackies than I would much rather see Striders.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I don't think we should bother with ZIFs and things like that, personally.
So just so everybody knows what is currently available. The mod sizes are pretty small, which is really nice.
I'm
This is what's
trolling on the
available for the
turtles, by the way.
editions.
I do have
So
nothing
you got
against the turtles.
well, that's what we've got to choose from.
Yeah. Brackies, love it. Dinosuchus, love them. Dinotherium. Which one's the Dinotherium?
Mammoth. Big mammoth.
Big mammoth.
Elephant.
Elephant. Do you know, I thought they were base game. They're not, are they? Okay. Archelons, yeah, okay. Halicoprions, hell no. And Zifs, hell no. For me.
I think the water is already pretty dangerous as it is.
Yeah. Two out of there I would knock out straight away. I must admit, I do like the rest. I'm not too fussed about the turtles, but I know people love them.
Yeah, the Zifs jumping onto land. I watched a video of that earlier. It's so cool. The Zif jumps out the water, grabs a dodo, hauls it off into the water, and jumps
Yeah.
back in again.
Yep.
It looks cool, but damn, that would get annoying. That's it. That's the
That
list.
is what is available at the moment. Brackies and dinos are absolutely got to be a must.
Yeah, yep.
I would agree with Theo there, yeah.
I'm liking Theo here.
Yeah, everything apart from the last two would be great.
Yeah. Oh, which something I was saying earlier was leading me into talking about our development server exploding.
Yeah, I was kind of going to go into that actually. I was leaving that till the
Mm.
end.
So anyway, sum all that up. Cryopod's going in tomorrow. Um, we'll put the additions dinos onto our ASA test server and play with that for a week. There were horrible rumors or horrible things floating around on the additions Discord that when people had the additions dinos installed, it was causing servers to melt. So yeah, we'll run it, make sure it doesn't do that, and then we'll have a chat about the settings and stuff like that, and see where we go from there.
No, Bob, he didn't do the acro yet.
No.
As mentioned earlier, what is on that list is it right now.
Yeah, that list, scroll up, that is it.
He hasn't finished all of them. They're in progress. I'm actually glad he didn't do the acro first. The acro out of all of them is one of the... It's cool, but it's kind of weird. Is the shop cup coming? It will be as soon as the API is ready. They're still working on that side of things.
Yeah.
That isn't even finished. Available yet. So as soon as the API comes, then we can start looking at getting some plugins looked at. Because the plugins use the API to communicate with the game. So they have to finish that first. They needed to wait till the game was released, reverse engineer a little bit of it, figure out what's going on, and then the plugin devs can write their plugins. And a lot of them are already working on and figuring out how they're going to do things. Which kind of leads us into the next topic, actually. As a byproduct of what's been happening. So, As of this morning, I moved a lot of our servers off our development box. As some of you will have visited before, we have a box that we call the Oracle. We've used it for events before. We use it to develop things like the raidable bases, the world events, and going forward, we'll be doing that as well with ASE. Sorry, ASA, not ASE. So as of this morning, and the consequences of everything that's been going on, things have been changing big style. We have at the moment got the ASA servers up now, and the supporter server is Gamma only. So a lot of people have switched over. A lot of subs have dropped from tier 1s obviously to tier 3s, understandably. ASC is seeing a little bit of slowdown. Players that get sort of either naturally leave or are being replaced are coming in naturally wanting to see ASA, so more T3s, which is great. But as of this morning, we are decommissioning our development box because at the moment it's not sustainable. So just wanted to make people aware of what's going on. Yes, we're planning to put the rest of the maps out. Yes, that doesn't change. But as of literally this morning, I've taken everything off the dev box because that's going to have to go. So I know there's nothing really to promote the tier 1 and tier 2s yet, but as the IP comes and as the plugins roll in, lots and lots of work is going to be done. But we're having to be quite frugal at the moment because things are still in early stages, I guess. It's not anything to worry about yet, I don't think, but it has been affecting things. So hopefully, yeah, we're looking forward to all that stuff coming in as well.
Well, more importantly, we're going to have to buy all the software that we bought for ASE again to enable us to support the same functionality on ASA.
Yeah,
There's going to be licenses for all the plugin software and all the extra functionality that we commission and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
What kind of forced our hand on the development server this morning was it actually went offline. It's not one that we have hosted at the main data center with the other 3 physical servers that we have.
Yeah,
It kind of sits out on its own. But Nani was working on it yesterday, was it?
literally last night, yeah, yesterday
Yeah,
evening.
literally yesterday evening. And he went to configure some stuff in the network and it just all shut down on us. The screen went black and couldn't get it back. We tried a hardware KVM into the machine, that didn't work. So there is something fundamentally wrong with the machine. So we've pulled all the data off it, and well, we're not going to rebuild it. We're going to throw it in the bin.
Yeah.
So we'll have to make do with the other 3 physical servers we've got, which are way, perfectly capable. But it just means that testing things and developing new functionality might be a little bit tricky. Because we'll be doing it on servers that are also hosting live servers. Do dinos get XP from cryos? No, they don't. However, you do get XP from killing your dinos with the neuter gun. Forgot to mention that. So I'm guessing if you're sitting on a dino, you could kill another dino using the neuter gun, and maybe the dino you're sitting on gets XP. I don't know. You guys will have to test it. I mean, part of the reason we picked this this cryo mod is because it is the second most downloaded mod on the entire workshop, with 1.3 million downloads, and we have a good repertoire with the mod author already because he's built a lot of our plugins that we use and worked with us to make those plugins work. So suggestions welcome. We will feed them back, but we find that developers, mod authors, they tend to only respond when you provide, or respond positively when you provide good reason backed up by good examples and kind of like demonstrate why something needs to be changed, not just like, oh, can you make this available at level 1 for 0 resources? Well, why is that a good change? They're not going to, it's their mod, it's their vision. You have to explain to them why what you want them to do for you for free fits in with their design. But I feel that it will be well supported. There isn't another cryopod mod out there that's reached that level of popularity. I'd be surprised if anything, I wouldn't have expected it would just disappear. So yeah, big considerations for us there. Interestingly enough, the Zippy is that the least downloaded one? Those download numbers. Yeah, 327,000 downloads. The Brachio is on 577. That's the most popular dino.
I have no doubt.
Followed by the Deinotherium at 545.
I have a good idea why that is too. I bet you it fits through smaller entrances than most dinos with its profile.
So other than the primal item paths, the engram entities, the spawn commands, and the ini settings, the description on the mod page, just so you are all aware, is that. But you don't need any of that because you get to the config by holding down R. So ini configs are a thing of the past.
I think that's the one, isn't it, for the people who want the link?
Yeah.
It's working so far on dev. I haven't had an issue with it. And as DJ said, the dev is amazing. Most of the stuff he's done for ASE, he hasn't bailed on early. He has, provided constant fixes for. So I like to stay with devs who we know and trust. They're not going to bail on us.
To give you some example, this is the number of updates this particular mod has received, which means he's actively working on it, he's fixing it, and he's doing the best he can. Then you go to the one that I was linked earlier. I think it's had one update. No, it's him actually fixing. Cryopods are not in the game, by the way. So what they've done is they've pulled the cryopods in from either ASE or what's been available in the dev kit, and then they had to create some code to store the dino information, remove the dino, and then respawn it with all that information retained. Is it possible to get an inventory bag pickup like we had on ASE? It's all possible, yes. Just time. I mean, I want to port our mods to ASA as well, and that includes the inventory bag pickup.
Fed shards, all the good stuff. Munchies and brains and hearts.
I think the other thing as well is it should he's working on remembering buffs. So when we put in things like shiny dinos, shiny dinos is a thing, is being ported. Very small mod too. It will be supported by the cryopods we're using. So let's have a look. For shinies, if I remember rightly, it does have limited features at the moment. What's it included? Color sets, the new dye colors, frozen, burning, spectral. I didn't believe he had all of that in there already. there's a note on there saying, due to the advanced nature of shiny dinos, it should be avoided. You should avoid putting them in cryopods. Unfortunately, cryopods will not manage to preserve their shininess. And then there's like, well, actually, it will work. He's not said for the shiny dinos. He's not said which shinies are actually available. He's just said in its early version with limited features. So yeah, so we're looking at mods. We'll have a new one in tomorrow after maintenance. It'll be the cryopod mod. Any feedback welcome. After putting it in, it may immediately get an update to fix a load of bugs. But hey, so yeah, mods, cryopod mods. We're looking at additional Dino mods and various other mods. We want them to be cross-platform compatible, console compatible, because we need the cluster to open up to a larger audience. We need to get more players on, essentially, to keep it running. And yeah, then the sad news, one of our servers blew up. We're not replacing it. We're going to save the money, but we need help. As Nani said, everyone's going for tier 3 subs at the moment, simply because that gives you access to the ASA server, the supporter server, which, by the way, has slightly higher rates. And yeah, so that's hurting us at the moment in terms of keeping things running. It's not critical, but it's hurting, especially when we're going to have to shell out for more software. So help there would be appreciated. And questions. Should we do questions?
Yeah.
Have we got questions? See, Utilities Plus. While you guys are typing questions, I'm looking in a different channel. But Utilities Plus, reusable bowler, reusable flare gun, reusable grappling hook, reusable parachute, reusable spear, and reusable torch. Now, is that really necessary? Just putting that question out there.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say grapples and parachutes would be nice.
Parachutes, yes. Grapples, yes. Grapples
Torches,
attached to a line.
I don't know if you've ever set fire to anything, but it doesn't burn continuously.
No.
But I do agree. Yeah, grapples and parachutes would be nice.
I don't know if you keep pouring petrol in it.
True.
But then that's just the accelerant. It needs fuel, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They should have just made it so that you load them with ammo or something, and you just keep firing until you have to reload. Oh, hang on, you do. It's just they only have a clip size of 1.
I would have liked to have seen the grapples be a separate object and have durability. So you can like swing like Tarzan for a farewell, that it breaks. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. No, I'm just starting conversation here. I'm just saying, is it necessary? Is it not necessary? We in the past we've gone for reusable grapple, reusable flare gun, and reusable parachute. Reusable spears I don't agree with. You throw a spear, it sticks in a dinosaur. It's not on a bungee cord. You can't run up to the dinosaur, grab it back, and then jab it in again. Well, you could.
You actually can. That is a thing. Yeah. You can go and pick up your spears.
You could, but you would be nuts if you were trying to kill this thing and it was barreling at you.
True.
Yeah, good question. Zong. What?
They do, because shooting drains durability, but not fast enough to. Once you've got a decent crossbow, you're not going to worry about that.
But yeah, I mean, like bowlers, I'd say no. Flare gun, yes. Grapple, yes. Parachute, yes. Spear, no. And reusable torch, no. It is in ASE. It could be in this. Well, in ASE, I think we disabled the old one. No, did we? I can't remember. I probably disabled the engram for grappling, grapples, and then just used the reusable one.
The blacklisting of engrams would still be a thing, so you would be able to pick and tune. It's a case of
Yeah,
then if you pick a mod and it's got 7 features and you want one of them, it's not really a good choice of mod. We need to find something that maybe has 5 features and we're using 4. Because
yeah.
as mentioned earlier, we don't want to butcher the load times again. They're so good. Do you really want to go back to ASC loading times? Because we will get there eventually if we keep putting stuff in. And there's also a boatload of stuff that will come when the app is finished with plugins that we do not need mods for, just like we did with ASC.
Yeah.
Which will mean less mods and more perks and better loading times. Because you got to admit the loading times are, oh my god, the loading times are good.
I mean, even when you were loading in like under 2 minutes,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
night and day.
yeah.
Yeah, I consider myself to be a fast loader of ASE, and this is beautiful. It's just like click the button and boom, you're in your base. Great. There are
Now,
eco
if
type mods out there right now.
I really like the idea of QOL Plus, it's a fork of S Plus, and it incorporates some of the features and stuff. But I'm a little hesitant at the moment. I want to see how it develops first. It's got like 5,000 downloads. It was uploaded on the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21. 5
That's
days later,
that's not a lot, really.
and he's updated it every day. So it looks like the support's there. I'd have to join his Discord and see what's going on. But yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Keep mentioning things. Yes, they will prevent that panda. But I mean, by all means, test it first. Take your most valuable underwater tame and lob it out in your base on land.
And if it blows up, we know it doesn't work. Yep. I could test that, I guess.
No, it does block it. I'm
I would
pretty
hope it
sure.
did. But then I remember the days, you know. Bloot. And that was Soulballs.
Herbert, if you want to see the chat in the round table, the chat channel is above the voice channel. It's called Stream Chat.
Yeah, and you too can take part in the wonderful discussions.
So yeah, it's keep an eye out for the mods. Have some suggestions rolling in, but just please think about what you're recommending, how it impacts the game long term, what it adds to the cluster, what it takes away in terms of load time and maintenance, and also kind of think about, is it being kept up to date? Is the author active? That kind of stuff. Like a mod that adds harder boss fights and extends the progression. Well, if you played on our ASE cluster, you would know there are harder boss fights and extended progression.
all that sort of capability will come again when we've got the API and they've finished that lot. Everybody's in the same boat at the moment with that. We're all waiting and waiting and waiting. It opens up a whole host of things when that API drops.
All the cool toys. So yeah, we've just hit an hour.
Yeah.
So unless anyone's got any specific questions, the TLDR is cryopods landing tomorrow, more mods in testing, make recommendations in feedback, and any support you guys can give us is appreciated because we just lost our development server and we've got a shitload more stuff to buy for ASA.
Yeah. The cool stuff is coming.
Want to buy cheap glitch. Oh, a final word of warning. If anyone is going to do the tech cave, please let us know before you do it so we can make arrangements. Otherwise, you will lose your character, your dinos, and all your gear. There is no ascension. Well, there is, but we have to allow it. For those of you who don't know, clustering is not a thing. So there's also still an exploit where you can load your single player character into a dedicated server with admin permissions and wipe out everybody's shit.
Yeah.
So we have that turned off. While we've got it turned off, you can't ascend. But once clustering comes in, we'll be able to stop people loading their characters in from outside the server.
Yeah. I'm sure quite a few of you remember the early days where people were like spawning in with red guns and destroying bases and stuff. We don't want that again. So it is necessary at the moment to turn the ascensions off. So please do let us know.
In fact, I don't know if any of you remember, but when Ark first came out and the island was the only map, the tech cave didn't exist. And when they did, ascensions didn't work there either.
Yeah.
You would die if you finished the tech cave, lose all your shit.
You can send them there, Panda. They've got to beat it though first. How are you finding the bosses as well? I know obviously we're aware now that Meraxis has been hard at work with team. How are the bosses going? Hard.
Good.
I know the monkey's got his one-shot death kill back, hasn't he, in the Pit of Doom, which I kind of like. And while we're here, I guess, and while we're talking, are we cool to upload the videos that I've been provided? And then we can showcase your wonderful kills? Will do, no problem.
Obviously, we don't want to give away their tactics.
Yeah, exactly, which is why I'll check first.
But we do acknowledge that the 4 boss kills have all been from... What's the name of your tribe on ASA now?
Primeval Pickles? Yep.
Yeah, Primeval Pickles. Oh, Pickpez. No, it's Pickles. Yes, tactics in a PvE game. WoW equals tactics. Yes, used to raid lead in WoW. Used to. Don't do that anymore. That's a full-time job.
At least you had the greatest paladin healer of all time. Just saying.
What was her name? I can't remember.
Flatline. No, not the other one. Oralai.
I know. I was implying that it wasn't you. Yeah, imagine having a tank and a healer called Flatline.
It was originally meant to be a tank. That's why he was called Flatline. But then,
yeah,
they botched tanking good and proper. I thought it was a great name.
It was. It was amazing, though. The tank's flatlined. What?
The one I used to get most comments on though was the space goat shaman called Sputnik. I got loads of comments for that name.
Hmm, good one. Anyways, shall we wrap up for this evening?
I think we should. So soul
I
balls
agree.
tomorrow.
Yes, bowls.
Arc
Is there a
editions
gift
soon
balls?
TM. God. Right, I am going to cut it there then for tonight. Thank you very much for attending, everybody. And more cool stuff to come.
Awesome. Laters, everybody.
See you later.